Yeah, hang on. It's Wednesday night. It is time for the Star Wars episode of Super Geeked Up.
That was R2D2.
Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Jeff. This is Super Geeked Up, your weekly geeky pop culture show. We talk geeky topics, play fun games. Tonight is all Star Wars themed. Thank you so much for geeking out with us.
Hey, and I'm Tanya. You can follow along at Super Geeked Up using the hashtag SGU. Tweet along all your Star Wars fun tonight with us.
By the way, when you first started talking, you were like doing this. I was like, are you like a Darth rapper?
Honestly, I was kind of debating trying to do a Yoda voice, and then it went out of my head, and then I lost it.
Okay, good. I like the hood, though. It's good. All right, anyway, so before we get into it, folks, just so you know, I want to know this will be spoiler-free for Force Awakens. I mean, obviously, we haven't seen it yet, but a lot of stuff going on out there. Some people have seen it, critics and stuff, and a lot of potential spoilers. We will not be doing any of that on today's show. We promise you that. You can watch this without any fear of having it spoiled, because we don't want to spoil for ourselves either, so we're not going to talk about any of that stuff. All right, so please, hope you watch, tweet along. And do not tweet us, though, any spoilers while we do this show, or we'll come find you and kill you. We won't do that.
True. We will Liam Neeson all over your ass.
Yeah, actually. All of Liam Neeson's characters, they're coming at you if you tweet spoilers. So if you've seen anything, read anything, we don't want to know.
Apparently the Give Us Legends people are going to be trying to do that. Spoil it for everybody.
What?
What?
Do that?
I know.
What a
That's just not nice.
No, not at all. All right, let's kick things off with our Star Wars Geek Tweet of the Week.
It is time for that. It's a two-part question, and it was super popular online. Super popular. So, starting off, first part. When did you first see Star Wars, and in what medium? So was it theater, DVD, VHS, whatever? And what was your favorite Star Wars moment or scene? Jeff.
Oh, we're doing both at once? I thought we were going to do them separately. All right.
Well, I figured that way you can sort of be like, I first saw it, and this is how it impacted me, and you can get like really emotional.
Oh, really? Okay, wow. Well, I do get very emotional about Star Wars. That's true. So when I first saw it, I had to consult with my mom because I was 2 years old when Star Wars: A New Hope came out, and she believed.
People do math.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that at all. Anyway, so she believes that my dad and her took me to the drive-in to see it because that's usually what they would do.
Wow.
With a cute baby. So I have no recollection of this, of course, at 2 years old, but it's probably when I first saw it. I don't, unfortunately, have a recollection of really any of them in the movies except maybe Jedi. I can tell you on VHS, I very clearly, as a kid, remember seeing all of them many times. So that's definitely my first recollection of seeing them all. Hopefully I did actually. I hope I did see it in theater as a 2-year-old because that would be good to say I did in the drive-in. Anyway, favorite. So I got two scenes, moments. They both come from Jedi because Return of the Jedi is actually my favorite of the film. I know a lot of people don't say that, but I'm sticking with it. So the opening of Jedi with the whole Jabba's palace scene, to be honest with you, has always been like one of my absolute favorite in the whole trilogy. It rocks. There's so many amazing elements of that outside of Leia and her outfit. Outside of that, I'm not even thinking. But no,
the
just
bounty hunter outfit is obviously the one you're talking about.
Yes.
Oh, yes, right, Bosch. Yes.
Right.
And the thermal detonator. That's good stuff.
Okay, just checking.
That is actually a really badass moment, though. To be honest with you.
No, it totally is.
Yeah.
It's rad.
But you know what? I love it because Luke is actually my favorite character, and I love just the way he enters that. And, like, he's an actual Jedi in that scene. Is like, yes, you see like the progression from end of Empire to what happened now in the beginning of Jedi, and it's like, oh yeah, Luke is badass now. So I love that scene, and it's a great action scene, the whole Sarlacc, all that jazz, right? And then my other moment would be the act near the end of Jedi where Vader, makes the choice to save Luke. And there's that whole, and Luke, redeems him, because to be honest, I've always looked at Star Wars as it's a story of redemption, and that's where that comes to the full culmination there, and I think that's one reason for me and for many people that's so powerful, because that's just such a universal theme, obviously, that we always want people to be able to redeem and see them redeem themselves. So that's for me.
Nice.
Tonight's episode is going to be 17 hours, everyone. Just get ready.
Actually, it's going to be really long because we're really, all of us, very passionate about this. So get your coffee, get your wine, just so.
Oh, you know what? We should have done that. We should have done that, though. We should have done, a 24-hour hangout up until seeing the Force Awakens.
Yeah, because none of us have jobs. It's fine.
Right.
We could have done it like we all could have camped outside the theater, done the show there in our chairs,
Did
and
you
then go
see
into the
that
theater.
outside of the Chinese theater that all people that were camped out, it was part of charity, they were camping out for something charity. Lucasfilm got them all in to see the premiere.
Yep.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Whole premiere.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They're just doing it right. They really are.
Yeah.
They know their audience better than I think anyone else does.
The amount of data they have on us. So
Well,
I
and it's also because Disney took over. I mean,
Yes.
Disney is really good at promoting and protecting the brand. So
and they're like, here's money.
yeah,
Fine, just take it.
sweet princess money.
Yeah. So mine is, I first saw my Star Wars actually, and this is, I don't know if Jonathan can back me up in this or not.
I wasn't there.
Not that we were her babysitter.
He's not that older than me.
Give him a hard time.
We actually, honestly, Star Wars was part of the grade 9 English curriculum for my school board. Because it looks at the archetype of heroes and like the how a hero develops and blah blah. So the original, like, A New Hope was part of the curriculum in grade 9. So that was the first time I ever saw it. Was actually in a classroom with my classmates. And I already kind of knew that I was a geek. I was already full out into like Star Trek and X-Files. But it wasn't cool back then to be that person. So I just remember being blown away by it because I was like, oh god, my brother's like this film. I want. And
That was angsty teenage Tanya you just heard there.
yeah, it was very emo. Wrote very dark poetry. But so I remember not looking forward to this in my English class. I thought it was going to be really dumb and really stupid, and then watched it and like the scene where like Luke is looking over the desert with like the suns in the background and blah blah. I was like, okay. You got me. Then my favorite Star Wars scene and moment isn't actually a specific one, but it's Princess Leia.
Yes.
Note. Because so much of film at that point, there weren't a lot of characters like her. Like she took charge of so much shit. Like just to be like, I'm just gonna get it done. I might be in a gold bikini that's barely staying in my body, but I'm gonna take this chain, I'm gonna wrap it around a dude's neck and kill him. Like, come on, that's badass.
Murder slug.
Exactly. So Princess Leia was my favorite Star Wars scene moment. That thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Jonathan.
Hey, before Jonathan you go, let me just share a couple quick tweets here. And by the way, folks, if you're watching live, please tweet us at @SuperGeekedUp, #SGU. So Ryan Ward tweeted in, actually just before the show started, by Grabthar's Hammer, by the Sons of Warvan, you should watch Super Geeked Up. You know what's awesome about that? I just watched Galaxy Quest again on TV last night, which is what
I love Galaxy Quest.
I love this movie so much. So much.
So good.
Friends. That's the best.
That's a really good interpretation. That was really good. Anthony Davis at Lister's Mate says, last week Tanya said on SGU that tribbles might be related to Ewoks. Elaborate. I don't remember you saying that. Did you say that last week?
I may have alluded that they were like tribbles, that you could kind of cuddle them.
Oh, well, yeah.
Wait, but let's not forget that when we first meet them, they are like trying to kill everyone.
Well, I also mentioned
Just a
that as well.
misunderstanding.
I feel
Giant misunderstanding. We were just gonna eat you. It's fine.
Until you had a god with you, yeah.
Yeah, we were gonna sacrifice you to a god. Sorry.
That's how we are polite to guests.
My bad. All right, Jonathan, what's your answer?
Sorry.
All right. First of all, I have two answers. The first answer is that I totally got showed up a couple weeks ago at Rachel's parents' place because Rachel's grandfather was the president of 20th Century Fox Canada, and they got like access to all the movie stuff early. So Rachel's parents saw Star Wars a week before it opened in 1977.
Wow.
Which would have been just crazy. And they had all the merchandise. They were wearing shirts on the street, and people were like, "What's that?" They had no idea at the time. I mean, that's just crazy stuff. So
How did I not know this about Rachel?
I know, it's so weird that little
Rachel is Jonathan's girlfriend, by the way, folks.
Yes, sorry. The
not
first
just a
time
random
I
girl.
Not just a random girl that I was.
You just start talking to a random girl on the street, like, "Hey, what did your parents do?"
He's
I do
taking
do
the
that,
geek
though.
week to
I
a
do
whole
do
new level.
I'm going to use that now to try to pick up girls.
It works. It works. The the first time I remember seeing Star Wars is actually the first time I remember ever going to a movie theater, and it was the Fox Theater, which was a short walk from my house. And the coolest thing was that when Out with Dad, the web series I'm in, had its premiere, it was at the Fox Theater, and it was this kind of like it brought me back to that experience of going and seeing Star Wars on the big screen. But that couldn't have been the first time I watched it, because when my mom tells the story, she says that she had to keep telling me to shush because I was reciting all of the lines along with the film. So I must have already seen it a dozen times at that point, but that's my first memory. And that moment when, exactly what Tanya said, when Luke is standing there looking at the two suns and it's all blurry from the heat, it tapped into something really deep for me, that idea of there's a whole world out there, and it's just waiting to be discovered, and it's an adventure that I have to take. I think that still speaks to me as the best moment in Star Wars.
Nice.
All right. It was. Let's go over to Adam. Okay.
Stop reading my brain.
I don't remember the first time I watched Star Wars. I remember that I was aging myself. I mean, I grew up with it on VHS. I don't know where it came from. I think my dad might have recorded off TV. It was Return of the Jedi, and I think I wore that down.
So Jedi was that the first one you saw?
First one I saw, but it's I have to qualify that it's like the first one I saw, but I'm not sure it was the first one maybe it was the first one I was cognizant of. I watched Star Wars more times than I can count. So I think the first time I don't know, I honestly just don't know when I first saw it. It grew up with me, and I have more copies of the movies than I know what to do with.
Mm-hmm.
I rewatched the films as I think everyone else in the world has done this week. And some of the scenes that stuck most with me this recently, and it's hard, is when it started with Return of the Jedi, when Luke screams after Vader says, like, perhaps she will, and he's like, ah! And it's like, whoa, and it's I'm in my 30s now, and I'm just like, this shit just got real, and and there's something, and this is gonna be such a fanboy thing, but like I watched the original cuts, like that limited edition DVD release that came out years ago, so I was able to watch the original versions, and seeing Han shoot first, I've grown up with the special editions. I remember seeing the special editions in theaters. I remember screaming my lungs out when they put the trailer for the advertisement of the special editions. I fell to the floor of the theater screaming when I realized that I was going to be able to see this movie in theaters. So the special editions are a big part of my youth. But having seen Han shoot first as a writer now and as a storyteller myself, I really appreciate, like, I want to go back and fix my stories that I've had published, but maybe you shouldn't have done something so fundamental to the character, and you realize, like, oh, what it really means. So seeing Han shoot first is really an important thing, and I really wish we had that in HD. So yeah, I think, and just to qualify it really fastly, just like it's not just about him shooting first, and it's cool, he's badass. The audience now questions, like, who is Luke and Obi-Wan joining up with? This guy's dangerous. He's terrifying. He just shot a guy without, like, in essentially cold blood. It makes Han a dangerous character. And again, I respect a lot of the decisions that Luke has made because he is the creator of it. It's his film, but at the same time, it's sort of like that it's such a seeming small change that changed the character and changed the scene. So, yeah.
Great
It
point.
also affects Jabba, because why would he have sent somebody who's such a poor shot?
Yeah.
How did he miss him from that close?
It's his bulbous eyes. You have to understand how Rodians do not understand. They don't see things.
If
like
you're
we
standing
do.
in the right place, you're sort of invisible in front of them.
City lights on the side like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They kind of like they see like a distorted fishbowl.
Yeah.
Even like, Todd, can you just move like a meter to your left?
Yeah.
Okay, that works. We're good. DP, what about you?
Well, I'm a little older than Jeff, so I actually do remember seeing it in the theater. I was 7. But even though I watched TV and cartoons and everything, I don't know how much they advertised it back then because I didn't know a thing about it going into it. And we were just visiting some friends, a family friend that I didn't really know well, and their kids are going to go see a movie, and they said, "You want to come with me, or with us?" And I was like, "Okay." And I had no idea what we were going to go see, and it was sold out almost, so we were on the front row. So I'm 7 years old, and the main thing I remember is this giant 3PO head that took up the entire screen, overpowering everything. But that was the first time I saw Star Wars, and then, I kept seeing after that, and I bought the comic books and read the novelizations and went from there.
Yeah. Awesome.
Nice.
Cool.
So, Sarah, I left you to last on purpose.
It's very sweet of you. I am young enough that the first 2 came out before I was born, and then I was like 2 years old when Jedi came out, and so I have no recollection of seeing them. Like, they've just always been there. I don't remember the first time I viewed any of them. I'm sure it was a VHS situation. My brother was a big geek, and so we had a lot of that stuff in the house, and I just sort of grew up with it. Leia affected me a lot because she was such a strong, like, complex, well-rounded character, and most of the female characters were none of those things. And so, like, it was really cool to have that to look up to. But also, Han Solo started me on my path of, like, having a weakness for smug bad boys in film.
Yeah, he did that to a lot of us.
Yeah, just like, I was like, you are not the guy I'm supposed to be attracted to, but I am. Love it.
You don't say I love you in return.
You don't unless you're like, oh, you have a gun and you're going to kill someone for me. That's why I love you, not because you're great. Yeah, like, I see the warning signs. Don't be in love with Han, but you are. Yeah, and one of the little moments that makes me so happy every time it happens is in the swamp on Dagobah when R2 is ejected from the swamp and he makes that, like, wonderful, like, wow! I love it. It's my favorite noise in Star Wars.
What noise? I'm sorry, what noise?
Wow! Yeah, that's the one. Go back and listen to it. It's that noise. But it's my favorite. It makes me smile every single time. And then also, honestly, like, I have, like, a visceral reaction to the score from Star Wars. It is so... Hi, Kat. There you go.
Oh, he did come for a visit.
He was like, hey, guys, you talk about Star Wars? Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous, but, like, it comes on. Like, sometimes it'll come on, like, my John Williams Pandora station when I'm, like, cleaning, and I'm like, I feel fucking heroic. I can do this. It's sort of, like, all encompassing. It's everything. Also, I'm taking my kids to see Episode 7, and I'm so jazzed to be taking my kids to see a Star Wars film in the theaters. My daughter, the first princess she recognized was Princess Leia.
Nice.
She called her Patasuela, and so she called Chewbacca Puppy. And so she would come and she would ask if she could watch Puppy, and that meant she wanted to watch The Empire Strikes Back, and it always made me really happy. So
that's pretty much the most adorable thing I've ever heard.
Wonderful.
Chewbacca as a puppy makes me wonder, now that Star Wars is back, and there's going to be a whole bunch of them following up. Are they going to do a Spaceballs too?
Yes.
Oh, God, that would be amazing.
It actually just got greenlit, it's going into development at least.
Perfect.
So, that's I heard it from an insider who will remain nameless.
But Rick Moranis kind of retired, so.
Yeah, but I mean.
They may not do it with him.
He could come back into this. Yeah.
It's possible.
Oh, I forgot my favorite moment.
Oh yeah, what's your favorite moment?
What is your favorite moment?
Yeah. I thought I didn't know, nothing jumped out at first, and then I thought about it. I was like, okay, the most Han Soloist moment, I think, which is from Empire, which is when he's being lowered into the freezing chamber, and she says, "I love you," and he says, "I know." I think that seemed like the perfect reaction for him.
Yeah. It's true. It fits with the character really well.
Yeah.
So
really
good.
Well. Okay,
and that wasn't in the script, if I understand correctly.
Nope.
Really? Oh, that's awesome.
No, that was Harrison Ford.
Apparently he ad-libbed that on set. So.
That's awesome, and it's become like this iconic thing. That's
and
awesome.
I love that his ad lib was so good that they were like, write that into the next movie. That shit was good. Do it again. Do it again.
Did someone take notes on that? Okay,
They did.
So we have a little bit of War and Peace style answers on Facebook on this. So bear with me, but I think it's important because I think everyone had really, really great memories of this, so I don't want to miss anyone. So I'm going to do my best to go quickly, but I want to make sure I get everybody in who answered on Facebook because I think this is a very important movie to a lot of people. Okay, so from Tara Rodriguez, she says, I saw the first release of Star Wars at a mall theater when I was a teen in 1977. What really sticks with me was the original soundtrack, just fantastic. John Williams and the London Symphonic Orchestra truly enhanced the movies. Very much agree. Marsha McHale says 1997 re-release of Star Wars in theaters. My favorite scene has to be the celebration on Endor before Lucas messed it up with the DVD release. I had the old VHS. I loved that whole ending. Brett DeSilva from Geek Happenings, 1997, A New Hope in the theater. When the Star Destroyer came across the screen, this kid was hooked. First movie I remember seeing. Tammy Anderson, my mom took me to see it when it finally came to our small town theater in 1977. We've gone to every other sequel together since. Favorite is when Han enters the battle at the first Death Star. J. Elizabeth Martin, 1977 in theater. Denver's Massachusetts, sorry. That moment when Obi-Wan and Vader fight and Obi-Wan gives that small smile and then is cut down. I found that very powerful and it really summed up the Force for me. As a writer, I still find that moment great. Rich, I'm going to screw up your last name, Vilgos, saw it very early after its release in 1997 at a local theater at the Calit Cinema. There was an indoor theater next to their drive-in. I saw it at the indoor, and it cut it off for me. Went to see it as many times as possible as my parents would let me. Alexander Martin, he's got a two-part here. I feel. Am I missing part of it? Alexander tweeted if I'm missing something. And the moment where Obi-Wan and Darth Maul can't get to each other through the force field, yet you know they're about to go ham on each other. They're animals, and I slaughter them like animals. I feel like my cut and paste did a weird thing.
That's from Attack of the Clones.
Yeah. And Rich says from earlier, I'm not sure what my favorite moment was. Maybe visiting Mos Eisley and all the different people and aliens. Carlos Ramirez says, when it came out late in 77, I was 8. The sword fight with the I am your father.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good answers.
That's something I have to get through. Oh, this right. I have a couple from Twitter. One from Twitter from Ryan Ward. Hard to remember. I was so young, but I remember Luke fighting the Rancor on the Return of the Jedi was my first experience of it on TV.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I feel like Lando is not getting enough love.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's the biggest pimp in the galaxy, and
And he destroyed the second Death Star.
Yeah.
he is a smooth motherfucker. Like, he's the best.
I really want Lando to make don't say it if they know it, but to make a cameo at some point in like one of these future movies.
I don't know if he comes back, but I do know that he shows up on Star Wars Rebels.
Yes, he does.
And
And-
he did the voice in the Lego movie, didn't he?
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah. But he shows up and he did like a BTS video, and he was like, "Dude, I would play Lando forever. Lando's the best."
He was actually on a show that I used to work on, and we asked him like, "Are you in it?" And and he had said like, "I'm not in it," or I forget exactly, but he's like, "I think that Lando should have a daughter and she should be a Jedi." And I was like, "Yeah, that's cool, man." I made a sign that said "Cloud City, never forget," and I held it up outside. And it was like one of those things where like it just to show you like the kind of people I was working with at the time. They're just like, "What do you mean Cloud City never forget?" I'm like, "Oh my god!" So yeah, it was a little.
That hurts my heart.
I know there are people who have not watched the films.
Mm-hmm.
That's wrong.
Yep.
Yes.
That is.
So this is a great segue into our guest because
It sure is,
Did you lead us into this?
Yeah, very nice, Adam. Adam just made a film about people who have seen Star Wars for the first time ever. So, Adam, do you want to maybe talk a little bit about that, where people can check it out?
Yeah, it's real simple. I found out that my best friend's fiance had never seen Star Wars before, and I know, and I was just like, well, clearly you have to call it off.
Or sit down and watch that shit before you actually
sit down and watch
married.
it. And the decision they've made is they're going to watch like a 5-minute short video before we go see it on Friday. And I have opinions on that.
Like a 5-minute video calculating all the films?
Yeah,
like instead of watching the films?
Yeah, instead of watching the films.
Oh.
So either way, I give them a hard time about it, but I love them, and I'm really looking forward to it. Hey, look, if this is going to be her first Star Wars film, apparently it's the right one to start with from everything everyone's saying. So, you know what? Either way, the point is, so yeah, I was inspired. I was kind of wondering what it would be like, and it led to a discussion of like, where do you start? Do you start with A New Hope, or do you start with The Phantom Menace? And that prompted a really quick screenwriting session that took over 2 days based on memory alone, and I produced this short.
And there's two couples, right? Where one person, each couple has not ever seen Star Wars, and one couple starts with Phantom Menace, the other couple starts with A New Hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's very funny, folks. I watched it yesterday, and they cut back and forth, and I actually think it's pretty much probably spot on how that would happen.
Yeah.
Well, I loved how the two approaches had some overlaps.
Yeah.
Like the Jar Jar and all that. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Like Jar Jar.
Yeah. I remember, like, it's one of those things, like, I remember when, like, the movie was coming out, it was, like, early days, and it's like, there's a new Star Wars movie, and there's going to be this so completely CGI character, and it's like, this is amazing, look at the future. They don't even have to have a people anymore. They're going to have, like, these walking animations, and you got to hear, like, well, something doesn't here. It was, like, the first, like, audio that came out, and it was like, oh, my God, it's really happening. And I was so excited, and now that I watch it, it's just like, what the fuck? What's he thinking? So, yeah.
Well, and I think that so many of us that like love these films, like, as much as like we've been pretty much predicting that this film is going to be great. Like we've all been like, based on all this stuff, it looks awesome, it's awesome. But I think there's always that like tiny little kernel, and every single one is like, please don't be Phantom Menace. Please don't be the first. Please don't.
And it's funny, like, because I remember, like, I mean, I was 16 when that came out, and so for me, it was like the first time, like, I get to see this first. I get to see this in the theaters, and I saw the movie 10 times in theaters, and I loved it as a kid. And now it's hard for me to rewatch. There are elements, there are scenes that I really like, but I kind of consider it like The Hobbit to The Lord of the Rings, and it's like I don't need it to understand it. This is a bit of a non sequitur, but the way I watched the trilogy, the series, to prepare was a modified Machete, which is A New Hope, Empire, Revenge of the Sith as this extended flashback, and then Return of the Jedi. And I gotta say, it just made both the series a lot better. And made Revenge of the Sith a lot better because, like, you just jump in, you're like, there's this war going on between what looks like the Jedi and the Sith. You don't know, you don't need to know where the clones come from. You don't need to know why there's, like, how Anakin and Padme got together. They were just, like, they're clearly doing something they're not supposed to, and he knocked her up, and that's bad. It doesn't matter. Like you don't need all the machinations about Palpatine, the rule of two. It's not there. It doesn't play a part into the story. And yeah, it's just made like a 4 little film series a lot better. I mean, don't get me wrong. Revenge of the Sith should stand on its own. These movies should be able to stand on its own, and they don't. But inserting Revenge of the Sith in the between there made it a lot better. So
that's really cool. That's a cool idea. Marsha McHale, actually on Twitter earlier, she tweeted. She said she was going to do a similar viewing experience. So.
Oh yeah, I've seen that recommendation a few times for people like watch it like that, and then you're good.
Try it. And my buddy was not 100% convinced, and then he was like midway through, he's like, yeah, this is just so much better.
Well, my theory has always been that the Phantom Menace, Lucas made that to hook the 8-year-olds and get a new generation of fans. That wasn't for anyone who'd ever seen anything Star Wars before. And apparently it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Benjamin Bates and Chris Hadley are joining us live now. Hey, guys, they're tweeting in. Thank you so much for joining our Star Wars episode. So, by the way, folks, we're going to get more to our guests in a second, but coming up, we're going to do a couple games, Tangent Tales, where, hey, if you want to know what happens in between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, we're going to tell you on the show today in our story, okay? And these guys don't even know that's what we're doing, but that's what we're doing. And we're also going to do some geek traditions with Star Wars characters that Tanya has evilly prepared. And all right, so Adam, before we move on to other guests, where can give us some links where people can check out your stuff? It could be Twitter or the website, YouTube, whatever you want to give out.
Well, you can follow me at Adam Lance Garcia. You can find more information about me at adamlancegarcia.com, or you can find me on Facebook at Adam Lance Garcia. I'm really unoriginal when it comes to names, so just anything that says Adam Lance Garcia, that's me. If it's Adam Gabriel Garcia, that's the actor best known for being in Coyote Ugly and Doctor Who, the Christmas Invasion. So that's not me, though apparently some people think it's me because I look a little like him. So I have yet to correct them, so that's fine. I'm also a published author, so if you go to Amazon and type in Adam Lance Garcia, you'll see a whole bunch of new novels that came out. I'm the licensed author behind a series of novels based on a 1940s Buddhist superhero called the Green Lama. He is one of my father's favorite superheroes, and I've been writing him for the last about 5 or 6 years. The new novel, Crimson Circle, came out in October, and a sci-fi anthology book that I am very, very proud to be a part of called Occupied Earth came out in October as well. And yeah, there's a whole lot of books. I hear they're pretty good. One person was really mad at me because I had a gay character in it, and you can go to hell. But beyond that, there were people seem to like me, you know. So that's awesome. Yeah. So that's me.
Very cool. Awesome. All right, let's go over to Dipu. You want to just Dipu tell people quickly, you know, what you're doing, where they can check it out, all that stuff.
I'm the co-creator of the web series The Pantsless Detective, which you can find, The Pantsless Detective. We've got a YouTube channel. On our Twitter handle for the show is @PantsLessDet. We're on Facebook. It should be pretty easy to find all things pantsless.
Like we are during the show.
Actually, with the internet, that may not be true.
Yeah, I was going to say, careful what you Google there.
There'll be a lot of other things. Make sure detective is in there.
Well, Sarah told us she's also going pantless, so that's good.
Right.
Pants? You mean leg prisons? We don't. No pants.
Jonathan, want to tell people what you're up to?
I play Nathan, aka Dad, in Out with Dad, and Out with Dad Season 4 is rolling out as we speak monthly. And I'm the creator of a show called Clutch, and we're getting ready to shoot a spin-off of Clutch called Laced and Loaded, which will be filmed in the teaser we filmed in January, and we'll be seeking funding for it. You can help us out a ton by subscribing to the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/vengeancecinema, and you can watch both seasons of Clutch, and you can watch the full complete season of Asset with Tanya that I co-directed, and Laced and Loaded will come out on Vengeance Cinema as it unfolds, and we're trying to get, speaking of Lando Calrissian, Billy D. Williams to play our big villain. So.
Nice. That's why he can't do Star Wars.
Right. That's why he couldn't be in Episode 7.
Yeah.
All right, Sarah, what are you up to? Okay, what do you want to share?
Yeah, just pick a couple.
In a short time period.
I told you guys, 17-hour show.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so you can follow my modeling and my super geek modeling at actor Sarah Moore on Facebook. I actually just did a Christmas themed shoot, which is going up this month, and next month I'm going to be releasing a Batman Poison Ivy flappers shoot. That'll be really fun.
So cool.
Yeah, it's super fun. And the girl who's going to be Batman, super hot. So, big thumbs up for that. And then
done.
done. And then I also I'm a creative partner in Romeo's Bow Studios, and our big flagship piece is Gamer Chick, and we're have 2 seasons out already, and season 3 is with the editor. So we're hoping to release that soon. I actually think we're premiering season 3 at Gen Con 2016. So that should be happening. And you can find that at Gamer Chick Show anywhere, YouTube, Twitter, all that stuff. Do not just search Gamer Chick. Very different show. Very much not family friendly. So we are Gamer Chick Show. You can find us out through everything. And then my personal Twitter is at Pixies and Pins, where I live tweet all of my RPG game sessions and ramble on about nonsense like I'm doing now.
Awesome. All right, so we should we should search Gamer Chick and Pantsless, right? Just
yeah, you know what? It together and put them in quotes.
Gamer Chick.
Pantless Gamer Chick. Yeah.
Pantsless Gamer Chick.
All right.
There's actually probably a lot of nice hits on that.
I'm sure. Yeah. You guys are not going to be disappointed. I'll tell you that much.
All right, so if you're just joining us, folks, you can tweet us at @SuperGeeked_Up, #SGU. This is our Star Wars Extravaganza that we're doing, talking all things Star Wars. No spoilers for Force Awakens, though. Don't worry about that. We're going to do Tangent Tales in just a minute. We're going to make up a Star Wars story on the spot. We're going to do some geeky auditions for Star Wars characters later on. We do have some geeky news, too. We actually do a little bit of non-Star Wars stuff. We're going to talk X-Men Apocalypse and what else are we talking about? Dark something? What is it called?
Oh, my God. The Dark Tower series from Stephen King.
I know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Birds.
Dark something. Yeah.
He's blinded by Star Wars. You can't.
I got. Yep, that's it. Focus all on one thing.
Oh, my God. It's like blinders.
Anyway, before we get into that, if you're watching the recorded version, we're going to take a quick commercial break right now. We'll see you back in a second. I found the lack of commercial most disturbing. All right, welcome back, folks. This is Super Geeked Up. Thank you.
I love how I saw you like pause of like, okay, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I was wondering which of you was going to do it.
Well, I did the first one. Tom's going to do the second one.
Yeah, but you obviously had something prepared.
Yeah. So now you have half an hour to prepare something else until we take All right. So we're going to do Tangent Tales. This is how this game works. I've created a story, an intro to a story, which is set in the Star Wars universe. And I'm going to stop the story at a certain point and then pass it to one of you guys. You will have to then continue the story from where I left it off. And then you can take it in whatever crazy way your mind takes you, okay? It's very, very open-ended. You can do whatever you want. Bring in whatever characters you want. Who cares? Do whatever. And then you'll continue it for a little bit, and then at appropriate time, you'll pass it to any other person you want to pass it to that hasn't already gone, all right? So keep passing it to someone who hasn't gone yet until everybody's gone, and then after everybody's gone once, anybody can wrap it up at that point where if they see a good ending. Okay? Clear to everybody? Everybody good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, good.
Just to answer a question that just popped up, Nicole is at an IWTV event tonight. That's why she is not with us this evening.
Yes. Many of us are in IWTV, and she very kindly is actually running our annual general meeting and the holiday party, helping to do that. So thank you, Nicole, for doing that.
We miss you, Nicole.
We do.
Of all times not to have our person who plays Chewbacca.
Oh, that's right. Well, she hated that though when we made her do that. Her
I know, but that's what we made her do it.
She's just like the most adorable Wookiee ever.
She is. It's the right height too. Okay, so folks, you people at home, I don't know, you usually really enjoy these because they get very zany and ridiculous. So this is set 5 years after the events of Return of the Jedi. All right. So that's why I said it's going to fill in a lot of the gaps. So this is going to prepare you for the Force Awakens. I feel if you don't know what happens in between. I mean, you can read a lot of the novels, which are great, but this is going to tell you, I think, the real deal about what happened.
Oh dear Lord.
So just so you guys know, there's a lot of dialogue I put in this opening because I wanted to write a lot of Han and Leia dialogue. But you guys don't have to do dialogue when you do it. You can just continue the story. But feel free to do dialogue if you so desire. Okay. All right. Here we go. Everybody ready?
Are you going to do voices? I need to know.
I don't know. I don't think I can do the voice.
Okay, continue.
I'm just going to do normal, I think.
Okay.
All right, ready? Here we go. Han and Leia have split up because Leia got sick of him asking her to dress in the slave girl outfit every night. Han went to Tatooine to drown his sorrows at Mos Eisley Cantina. When the owner of the cantina was killed in a barroom brawl, Han decided to take over the cantina and run it himself. So he made Chewbacca the bouncer, C-3PO the bartender, and R2-D2 the waiter. He also posted a sign that reads, "No gunfights unless you shoot first." Han was practicing making quippy comebacks in a mirror when the cantina doors burst open. Leia strides in, looking as beautiful and confident as ever. Han grimaces. "I've got nothing to say to you, sweetheart." "Oh, you're going to talk to me, Han," Leia replied. "And why is that?" Han asked. "Because I'm holding a thermal detonator." Leia reveals an active thermal detonator in her hand. The cantina crowd gasps. I said the cantina crowd gasps. Thank you, very good. Han stares at the detonator. "Okay, let's talk." The crowd goes back to their business as Leia and Han sit at a booth. Han props his legs up on the table. "So, couldn't stay away from me, could you, your worship?" "Get over yourself, flyboy," Leia replied. "I wouldn't be here except that it's Luke. I need your help to save him." "That kid never could stay out of trouble," Han stated. "Okay, I help, but in return you have to, forget it. You can freeze in carbonite again before I wear that outfit." Han mulls it over. Maybe being frozen in carbonite again is worth it. Leia stands and marches off. "Come on, let's go," she commands. "Whatever you say, your worshipfulness. Chewie, stop eating that and get the Falcon prepped." Han, Chewie, Leia, C-3PO, and R2 all board the Millennium Falcon. Leia looks around the cockpit. "This bucket of bolts is in even worse shape than the last time I saw it. Listen, sweetheart, she's still the fastest ship in the galaxy. Now plunk your stuck-up ass in the seat and strap in." The Falcon takes off from landing pad and roars out of the atmosphere. "Chewie, let's make the jump to light speed," Han said. Chewie roars in agreement. Han pushes the lever forward. The ship jumps to light speed and comes out of light speed at... Jonathan?
The
Jonathan.
planet
Yes.
of... I don't know what it's called, but it's the planet where the aliens are. But they don't know it. That's the problem. And they land, and Leia says, "I got a bad feeling about this." And Han's like, "Stay here. I'll check it out." So the little walkway lowers from the Millennium Falcon. Han walks out with a gas mask on just in case. And he's walking around. Something's not right about this. And then he sees this little blonde girl, about 9 years old. And she comes up and she says, "Are you my daddy?" He says, "Who the hell are you?" And she says, "Newt." And he's like, "Newt? Who the hell is that?" And she says, "Well, I've been stranded on this planet for a long time, and I've been looking for someone to rescue me, and I always knew my dad would come, and you finally did." And he said, "Well, I'm going to name you," and this is not a spoiler because I have absolutely no idea. "I'm going to name you Rey." And so he takes her on board the Millennium Falcon, and they leave the planet. But as they're leaving, the aliens descend on the Millennium Falcon, and the little mouth within the mouth comes out, and Chewie runs to the turrets to start firing at them, but the acid from the aliens melts the Millennium Falcon's turret. And so they take off. As they take off, and the mouth from within the mouth is jumping, and it just barely, catches after them. It's very reminiscent of when they left the asteroid. You're thinking like, haven't they done this before? But it wasn't. It was a different director, so they did anyway.
Less lens flare that time.
Lens flare. So they take Ray and say, how did you get stranded on that planet? And Ray says, Sarah, take it away.
Oh, God. Ray says, I was in a pod, and I woke up, and everybody's chests were exploded, and it was gross, and I didn't like any of it. That's basically what happens in Aliens.
Yeah, basically.
That's like the easiest way to sum it up. And I didn't like any of it. That's the important part. And so she says, but I actually have I have these stones that an opera singer gave me. And she says they're like fate of the galaxy sort of things, and they're inside this chest. Weirdly, they're covered in blue goo. I don't really know what that's all about. I'm assuming they probably exploded from her chest, because that's what happens around me. You guys should, I don't know, wear some armor or something. Things happen around me. And so she brings out this bag, and it's got them, and she takes them out. She said, I don't really understand what they're going to do, but there's like a map involved with it, and so R2 puts it into the nav computer, and they jump to this other system, which is very far away, and into the future. And they run into this cab driver who is going to help them with this, and there's this weird orange-haired chick running around with bandages. And she doesn't talk so good, so they're having a hard time figuring out what's happening with them. But Lilu, she says her name is Lilu, she joins them on the Millennium Falcon. And they're speeding along towards where she says they can use the stones, and they T-bone Tanya.
They T-boned me directly?
Directly.
Why was I floating around in space?
I mean, you should be more careful before you cross the space street.
Yeah, because I feel as though there's more room in space. They could have avoided me. So yeah, they don't actually T-bone me. They T-bone this ship that's got this like sort of disc on top, and it's got these little spiny things coming up the back. So they stop, because that's what you do. You want to make sure you change your details to give your insurance stuff. If you run into another vehicle as you're driving, you want to make sure you're a good person. So they hail the other people and be like, hey guys, really sorry, we didn't see you there, we didn't look left, right, what should we do? A bald dude pops up on the screen with this British accent, they're like, yeah, hey, really sorry about that, and he's like very gruff, and he's like, well, next time you watch where you're going, but what can we help you with? You seem like you're in a big hurry. And I'm like, well, we have these stones, and this chick who doesn't speak English very well. Is there any way that maybe you could help us like translate stuff? And he's like, actually, we do have a thing called a universal translator. You guys should look at getting this in your universe. It makes things a lot easier. So they transport everyone over to this other flat ship, so they can start talking to these people to figure out what it is that these blue stones, so they can help Ray, who used to be Newt, figure out where she came from. So they come on over, and they're all sitting there. They go with this thing called the holodeck to really sort of map out and figure out where these blue stones are pointing them towards. So they boot up the program in the holodeck, and suddenly there appears this beam of light from all the blue stones. Adam?
And then they find themselves inside this living ship that's piloted by this giant thing called a pilot. And what happens is they're met by this leathery thing that calls himself a Luxon. He says, what are you doing here? And they're like, well, we've got these stones here, and we've got this, and Captain Bacall says, well, listen, we're looking for this nice young man and this young woman and this other woman who doesn't wear much clothing and this old cab driver, and we're trying to find out where these blue stones come from. And the Luxon says, why, those are from the planet Earth. And the Corbin Dallas is like, how do you know about Earth? And Picard is like, I'm from Earth too. Are you from Earth? And Han Solo is like, whoa, guys, calm down. When are we? Are we in a galaxy far, far away? Why, no, we're in a galaxy quite near to you. So then Dargo, as he introduces him, Dargo says, well, listen, I've got someone here who can help you. And Crichton comes out, and Crichton says lots of crazy pop culture references that flies over the head of everybody around him because he's from Earth, and he's just like, well, Buffy the Vampire Slayer never had to deal with this, and I have to go deal with this. And then they find out these stones are from the Temple of Doom. And Han Solo has this really like this distant look in his face, and he's like, this feels familiar.
Dipu, you want to take it?
I was trying to go somewhere else with it. I was like, damn it, Dipu, go.
That's actually where I was going to go with it. So they go back to Earth because they need to find this Temple of Doom. And they beam Han and who else is there? And Rey and
Leia.
I don't know who's all there.
They beam them. They're trying to beam them down to India. But there's an airplane in the way because they're now in the 20th century for some reason. And they get stuck on the airplane.
Oh, no.
Oh, I see.
Get off my plane!
Get off my plane.
It's the president's plane, but his chief of security is played by Samuel L. Jackson. And they were transporting some reptiles. Well, the transporter had a malfunction, and it broke open those containers, so suddenly all the reptiles are flooding the ship, the plane, and Han looks around, says, snakes? Why did it have to be snakes? I hate these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. Let's just get to India so I can get my heart ripped out. But then the president puts the plane on autopilot for some reason, and there's a malfunction, and they're starting to nosedive. So Han pulls the lever, and Jonathan.
I guess.
Oh, Jonathan, he was kicking it to you.
And the lever doesn't move. He's like, damn it, it's supposed to go down. And then Leia's like, other way, idiot. And then he says, so he pushes it forward, and then it works fine, thank God. Because if he hadn't been able to push it forward, he wouldn't have seen a portal to Ireland. And they step through that portal, and there's Sean Bean staring him down. He says, you've got something that I want. And then a giant anvil comes down from the sky and crushes Sean Bean. And that's it.
That's the end? Okay.
And scene.
What a great ending.
That's a complicated way to kill Sean Bean.
That whole story was just to kill Sean Bean.
Yep.
Hey, you got to find new ways, right?
Yeah.
I do. How many movies and IPs did we fit into that?
Well, let's see. So we got Fifth Element. We've got obviously Star Wars, Star Trek, Indiana Jones, Aliens, Farscape, right? Which I just have to get in there.
Snakes on a Plane.
Snakes on a Plane. Air Force One.
I guess you could say Patriot Games would be.
That's what I thought you were going with.
Every Sean Bean film.
Every Sean Bean film where he dies. All of them.
And Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was impressive. How many to work in there?
Yeah, guys. I feel as though we earned our geek card with that.
Right.
Very
I
well.
also love how the mission was supposed to save Luke, and that did not happen at all, nor even came close to that.
Actually, yeah.
No.
They got sidetracked.
Sean Bean
That's why it's going to take place 38 years later.
Sean Bean was going to kill Luke.
Yeah, saved him.
We actually saved Luke by
killing Sean Bean killed by the anvil, dropped by Bugs Bunny, I guess.
Yeah, it was cartoon piano.
All right.
This is why we haven't seen Luke in the trailers, because.
And if it does turn out that Rey is actually a grown-up Newt, I'm going to say I called it.
It's reasonable.
All right, so on Twitter while we were doing this, yes?
I just have to say, the snakes on the plane thing, my favorite moment in that film is if you go back and you watch it when they throw the one in the microwave. You guys remember when there's one that they throw in the microwave and hit a button and it starts? If you look at the button says snake. They hit the snake button on the microwave to destroy it. Just tossing that out there.
That is awesome. On Twitter, while we were telling that story, Marcia McHale at The Always Geeky said, so apparently droids are served at the cantina now. Yes, they are, because Han is running things. That's how I envision.
No, they're not served. They are serving.
They're serving. Yeah, they're serving. That's actually much better.
Yeah.
And, he has experience from Jabba's palace.
Yeah.
That's valuable life skills right there that they picked up.
That's true. Ryan Ward on Twitter said about, at least Nicole got to be a Wookiee. I was told I was a Gamorrean today. Oh, that's not nice. Who called you Gamorrean? Benjamin Bates says, forget light speed, go straight to ludicrous speed.
Yeah.
Did he go to plaid?
And Adam's gone. That sucks. Hopefully he comes back, because Anthony Davis said that is the best Picard ever. That was a really good Picard impersonation. Oh, and Kate at Trek 1000 is now joining us. She said, I'm late, but I have a good reason. I was out shopping for your gifts. That's right. She's sending Tanya and Nicole and me gifts, apparently. Thank you, Kate. That's a great reason to be late. Sarah, Tanya, Jonathan, and Dipu, you get nothing. So,
This is, I was promised punch and pie, and this is bullshit. There's neither punch nor pie here, and I was promised both.
South Park.
All right, so it's time for some geeky news.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Jeff, what's going on this week in the world of entertainment?
So a small indie film coming out this week.
Yeah, I think it's a really popular, and I have a good feeling that it's going to really launch.
I think not a lot of people know about it yet, so.
No. And this new director, JJ something.
We're bringing it to the masses.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like the thing we've been talking about all show?
Yeah.
Perhaps?
Yeah.
Yeah, Star Wars The Force Awakens opens, well, so technically Friday, but it's actually, of course, a lot of Thursday evening screenings. So actually in less than 24 hours, actually, folks.
Yeah, apparently people in Australia are watching it right now.
Oh, those little bastards.
Yeah.
Dezel say nothing.
Dezel. Dezel's our fan from Australia. That's why he's probably not watching. He's probably seeing it right now. Yes, don't tell us anything, Australian people.
Except
keep it yourself right
upside down, so it's kind of a
come on.
Jonathan Robbins, knock it off.
Anyway, next week on the show, we're gonna, of course, do a big review and talk about The Force Awakens, because we're all gonna see it this next couple days. So next week, hopefully, you're gonna get a chance to watch it by then, and you can join us and talk and see what you think and all that good stuff. Tanya, apparently, you said right so far, the critics who got the advanced screening have been, 97% or something on Rotten Tomatoes?
I think it's now to 95, but like high 90s on Rotten Tomatoes for the reviews. And the American Film Institute has already put it into its top 10 films of the year. What else? Basically, the stuff that I've been sort of hearing all day without reading anything has been that not only is it one of the best films of the year, but it could be one of the best films kind of ever.
Yeah.
That's the critical reviews. That's not even just the people who are crazy, super excited about it like we are.
Right. That is high praise. Wow. All right. Awesome. Adam, can you hear us? No. Okay. He's writing to us, but we can't see. I guess he can't hear us. Okay. Hopefully Adam will be back. So, Marcia, by the way, Sarah says she agrees. Yes, she confirms there's a snake button on that microwave, so she saw it as well. She spotted it. Very good. And Ryan Ward said, apparently, I guess the person who called him Gamorrean, the worst part was my 11-year-old nephew who I was going to take to see Star Wars for his birthday. Well, forget it, kid. You're not seeing it anymore. Don't take that little...
No. That shit will not stand.
And I think he also stole his bacon. Like, his nephew stole his bacon and then called him that. Like, it's all just like...
Hell?
Who's... Kid, come on.
Slappy slap.
All right, yeah, so go see Star Wars The Force Awakens.
Because we are going to talk about it next week, so be forewarned, if you haven't seen it by next week, we are talking about it on the show.
So next week there will be spoilers.
There will be spoilers.
No spoilers today, but next week there will be. So hopefully you can see it before then. Or catch the replay.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, in other news, there's something called Dark. So I don't know what the hell it is. Dark something.
Okay, so I don't know if anyone else a Stephen King fan. I started reading Stephen King because he's my husband's favorite author, so I started to read him to be a supportive of what's also about. Anyway, one of my favorite book series aside from Outlander and Harry Potter is the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. It's this sort of epic fantasy story that connects all of Stephen King's universes into one central hub, and it's super, super duper cool. And they have been trying to do something with this because it's an awesome story. It's over several books, and because the size of it is so big, it's very, very hard to do that. So this thing has been in development for years. So supposedly Matthew McConaughey is rumored to be the Man in Black, and Idris Elba is being eyed up to play the lead character of Roland, which is the gunslinger. And I know for me, I think those are great choices. I think they could actually handle those characters because the Man in Black is like the most evil person you've ever met in your life. Like a super, super evil character. So I'm really, really excited that if they do this well, it could be awesome. So I don't know if anyone else is Stephen King's fans. It's hard, though. Oh, Sarah's not talking to us.
I'm sorry, I was ordering a beverage.
From who, your husband?
Yeah. I apologize.
From her personal bartender.
Yeah, she's just like, bring me
which is C-3PO, right?
Yeah. and then R2 is gonna wheel it on out. So.
Cool.
He's reenacting our whole story right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Lilu's over there in the corner. She's cold, so she was in the auto wash. It happened.
Anyway, I'm excited. I mean, it's not being made yet. They're all still rumors, but so far, if those people end up being cast, I'm a happy person.
I love Idris Elba. I think he's delicious. And a really great actor, but most importantly, delicious.
So yeah, I'm not sure if you can hear me now.
Oh yes.
Yay!
So I'm actually a huge Dark Tower fan.
No one ever knows
I was actually really frustrated by everyone not knowing it.
That was the worst time for that happened.
I'm a huge Dark Tower fan. The reason why was because it connects and interweaves with all of Stephen King's stories.
As I was saying, it's like the central hub of all of his stuff comes together.
Literally.
Like,
I mean,
actually,
it's
in the
really,
tower.
it's really interesting. Like, and I don't think we'll get. I don't know how they'll do certain elements like bringing in characters from Salem's Lot. One of my favorite moments is when they walk into the stand, and it's just like. So and this is one of those weird things, and this is it might be a little bit of a spoiler, but like Stephen King himself was a major role in the story. I won't say to what degree, but what I really appreciate about the series is that like there's some people who like I'm gonna like write myself into the story because I'm the writer and I can do that, and it's really ridiculous. But when King did it, it's like wow, you really did not pull your punch on who you thought you were at this time.
Yeah.
No, I think Idris Elba's a great choice. Even though
McConaughey, awesome, great choice.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think perfect choice is Clint Eastwood mid 1990s, maybe mid 80s, because that is who the character was designed on after. The Dark Tower series is like it's interesting for those who haven't read it. Like, King started doing it like it was one of the first things he did. He wrote like the first three books or four books. And then kind of got sidelined for a while, and then went back and redid like the first book, and then finished the series. And it kind of ends it could be better than like it did. I really enjoy it.
Well, he's not really good with endings anyway.
Well, yeah, the problem is with Stephen King's writing is like, you know, there are some people who plot things out and then like, you know, are meticulous about it. And then there are some who kind of go with the flow and sort of like, as they finish the novel and they revise it and sort of make sure that's all like a big unified piece. And King just kind of writes, and it's like, he's like, oh, I guess that's where it ends, and then sends it off. And he's Stephen King, so he can do whatever he wants. So it just kind of, like, the endings, I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to adapt it, because the ending as it stands in the novel is a little anticlimactic.
Yes.
Little.
But honestly, it's one of like the most epic book series you could ever read. It all the weird shit that goes through all the rest of his books are connected into this series, and it's super cool.
Yeah, like little things like the fact that like the number 19, why that comes up so much, even though it's not fully explained. Like even his most recent novel, like 11/22/63, that touches right into the Dark Tower series, and it's just like it's really interesting. Like you start seeing the connections, and you have to read everything. It's something that I just really enjoy. So you're not alone, is what I'm trying to say.
Thank you.
I'm like a super big wuss about scary stuff, and so I don't read a lot of Stephen King.
Honestly, his stuff is, I mean, there's some stuff that is like truly terrifying, like The Shining and It are scary. The Dark Tower,
and that's of course the ones that I read first, and I was like, well, I think it's done here. Okay.
Yeah. The Dark Tower, I found it less scary and more like just an insane universe to be immersed into, because they go through some really weird stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not horror per se. There is horror elements, but it's not. It's a different thing. It's cool.
One thing that I would say about Stephen King is like it's less about horror; it's more about good versus evil, and
that's basic. Just
it's like, you know, it's there are times that like, ooh, that's kind of scary, but usually it is about like a good versus like a just terrible, unknowable evil.
Mm-hmm.
So very love.
Well, because like I really dug his I liked Shawshank, and I loved The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. I don't know if you've read that one of his. And The Green Mile.
The Green Mile.
I thought those were really cool, and like maybe if it was more in that vein than in the like I'm a scary murder hotel.
Oh, don't forget Shawshank.
Yeah.
The Dark Tower, I think the Dark Tower has more in common with those. Like, there are some very disturbing elements, don't get me wrong, in Dark Tower, for sure. But especially like the origin story of Roland and how he sort of became the gunslinger, like that story is heart-wrenching. Like, heart-wrenching. And you're just like, I see why you are the person you are. And he has a whole novel dedicated to his origin story.
Yeah.
It's so good. So good. Read them. For sure read them.
Yeah.
Okay, but if I can't sleep, I'm just going to show up at your house.
Okay. Sure. That's fair.
We got one more geeky news item, folks, and then we'll get back to Star Wars. Before I do that, I'll share a couple of tweets that were coming in live here. So, Adam, while you were gone, actually, we had a tweet from Anthony Davis at Lister's Mate who said, you did the best Picard impersonation ever.
Yeah. Thank you.
But we were actually saying, too, we were very impressed by it. You did very good.
I in another life, I'm a voice actor.
Kate at Trek 1000 asked us while we were chatting, have you seen Stephen King's The Mist? And then she says, worst fucking movie ever. So I guess don't see it, is what she's saying.
Yeah, that's depressing. Don't watch.
There's a lot of Stephen King movies that just don't or books that don't translate into their movie form that well. There's a few that did.
Yeah.
And didn't they completely change the ending for that one too?
Probably.
Like the movie ending is not at all what the book did.
Well, I know the movie ending is very depressing. I know it's
apparently the book does not end like that.
Yeah.
At Timekeeper's show, hey, our buddy from Timekeeper who hasn't watched us in quite a while says, wow, how many Dipu sightings on SGU represent one of the signs of the apocalypse?
Dun, dun, dun.
Well,
so like the Horseman, it would be 4 if it's like the Horseman.
Yeah.
Once again, amazing segue people are presenting me today. Because
now
we're going to talk about X-Men Apocalypse. Holy shit, like I've never been set up so well on segues ever in the whole show.
Yeah.
So Adam and Timekeeper, great job.
Yes.
Keep setting them up. I'll knock them out of the park. All right. X-Men Apocalypse, new trailer, just debuted a day or two ago, right? And so I am a huge fan of X-Men and the X-Men franchise. X-Men Days of Future Past is probably, along with Dark Knight, my all-time favorite superhero movie. I love that movie so much. I think it's amazing. I think Apocalypse is going to have a lot to live up to. But so far, what I saw at Comic-Con over the summer and then what I saw just recently, I'm looking good. I'm digging it. A lot of cool stuff. This one's set in the 80s, folks, so they kind of do a decade every film they've been doing now. And dude, I'll watch James McAvoy and oh my God, please stop, Michael Fassbender as Xavier Magneto as forever. Like they're just so amazing.
I will watch James McAvoy in anything.
I knew you said that.
Fassbender does look awesome in it. I have some concerns, and we all remember X-Men 3. We don't want to remember X-Men 3, but we do.
We don't have to anymore. We don't have to.
Doing it again. The third one again. We're all gonna die. Like, come on. We did that and it didn't work. And so I'm a little bit worried. I have to admit. I'll give it a chance because I do love all the other X-Men movies. So here's hope.
Bryan Singer wasn't involved in that one anyway. So.
Yeah. Brett fucking Ratner.
Wow.
Tell us how you really feel.
Man, I don't know why. Everybody hates on that, man. I like that movie a lot. Dig it. That's all right.
He's the Joel Schumacher of the X-Men franchise.
He's worse than Hitler. No.
Stop it.
No, it's okay. I can say it. I'm Jewish.
At least he didn't have Xavier skateboarding down the rooftop or something.
Well, I mean, there's so many problems with X-Men 3. Just to non sequitur, it's like this is every single scene with they advertise angels in it, and it's like I don't want a dad, I like my wings, and he flies away, and then all of a sudden everything's getting serious, and he just walks in the door while the X-Men are having this really important meeting. What are we gonna do? We're gonna save the world, and he's like, I'm staying here now, and they're like, who the fuck are you? And then at the end, he just shows up and saves his dad. That is literally every single scene of Angel in X-Men 3. Sorry, that's
all right. Back to
X-Men
Apocalypse. What were you talking about? Dipu, any thoughts on the trailer?
I can't say it did a lot for me yet, partly because I never read X-Men, so I don't really know who Apocalypse is. I know what I've read, in the last year or so, but
he's a badass. He's a badass.
The biggest question I had watching the trailer is, okay, if this guy's so powerful, where has he been for 10,000 years?
Taking a nap.
It's exhausting.
He has to rejuvenate.
That powerful.
Yeah.
He's been hanging out with Luke.
Yeah.
Waiting for someone to kill Sean Bean.
Hookers and blow, man. They were doing something.
Bean was killed. They both. Now's my time to take over the world.
He used the Stargate to go to a galaxy far, far away, right?
Oh, we didn't do that one yet.
Oh. Should have brought in Stargate. Yeah, that's good.
Oh, we should have put that in.
It's the whole Egyptian thing. That's perfect, Deepu.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nice. I think, having read all the Age of Apocalypse and all that stuff from the comics, I think the look of Apocalypse is looking really cool from what they've shown so far in the movies. I think they're nailing that.
I do think it's a good idea for them to keep doing these period pieces, basically, because the last one, the Days of Future Past in the 70s, worked pretty well, and having the look of the 80s, I think, is I don't know why, it seems like it's a good idea. But
the only problem, I think, with the period pieces is going to come to the point when, the first film takes place, in the near future, so about now, and just there's no way Fassbender is going to, and those guys are going to age up that much in the period of time. But, I think this is the last one for Fassbender and the last one for Jennifer Lawrence, at least.
Oh, really? You think so?
Yeah, I think
he's gotten too big for us.
Yeah, I think she signed a 3-film contract, and Jennifer Lawrence went from hey, she's kind of hot, we can put her naked in this thing, to she's the biggest actress in the world. So
and she may also be a little bit overdoing franchises at this point. She might be I'm cool with doing the one-offs for a little bit because she doesn't need to for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Of course, Mystique is a shapeshifter, so recasting is not a problem.
Exactly. Make her look like anything.
Yeah. I do find it interesting they're obviously featuring her quite prominently in this, so they obviously are capitalizing on Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
Here she is. Come see her.
Well, and also the fact that like they were wise enough to sort of like split the timelines, and now this is this new history. They could just easily kill her off in this film, and it's okay because as far as we know, like this is not the same timeline of X-Men 3, thank God. And what we do know is that like there's the Old Man Logan series that's coming out next. So that's going to take place even further in the future, and then they have all those wiggle room in between because the slate's clear for them. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting like how Days of Future Past like rebooted and was a sequel and continued the series, and like they saved the franchise with that film.
Mm-hmm. Totally on topic, but not on topic. Jeff, there was a question for you on Twitter from Kate.
I see.
She is wondering, do you read comics, and if so, which ones?
I'll answer that in 1 second. But Kate also says, I'm so freaking excited for the new X-Men movie. They are my favorite. So yes, Kate and I share our love of X-Men. That's awesome. And just real quick on X-Men before I answer that question, I'll say I'm glad to see also that like what we know is the original X-Men from the comics, like Cyclops and Jean Grey, are all finally getting into this one as well, which is nice to see. It'd be cool to see the younger versions of them. All right, so do I read comics? Of course, I read comics. Kate, yes, I do. Although I'll be honest with you, I don't get a chance to read them too much anymore because I would get all these comics and I don't have time to read them, and that's a bummer. But I grew up reading comics, and I always come back and forth to them. Spider-Man and X-Men were always my two big ones when I was a kid, for sure. Those are the ones I would get all those of. And then Batman when I got a little bit older. I became big into that. So what about you guys? Dipu, I know you're a big comics guy, right?
Yeah, but I took the opportunity of the New 52 reboot to say, okay, you know what? It's time for me to step away for a bit. Because
that's what I did too, yeah.
I was having the same problem that you were having. I kept buying them every week thinking, I'm going to get to these, and then I just started falling farther and farther behind. And it was like, okay, you know what? I'm just taking up room that I don't need to take up in my house. So that was a good time. And what I've kept up on what's going on in those universes, just reading articles about them. But to me, that's enough at this point.
Anybody else?
I read a lot of comics. We have a Comixology app, which we probably shouldn't have because it's too easy to just be like, oh, just buy the next 10. But I recently read Lock and Key in its entirety. I don't know if you guys have read that. It's rad. It's Lovecraftian and all kinds of messed up, but really well done.
Joe Hill is Stephen King's son.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Everything's full circle today.
You're halfway there.
And then I also am reading The Fade Out, which is set in like Golden Age of Hollywood, which is really pretty awesome, but super intrigue and crazy murders and cover-ups and all that stuff. The Fade Out, yes. And I keep up on Atomic Robo, which is super fun. Do you guys know Atomic Robo?
I don't.
Heard of it.
So Atomic Robo, it was built by Nikola Tesla, and he leads a team of action scientists at Tesladyne, and he is in a Black Ops division of the government that takes care of all the shit that no one else can take care of. And he's a sarcastic, wisecracking robot, and he wears a Hawaiian shirt, and he's awesome. Yeah, we're always finding some new fun comic series. I Hate Fairyland. You guys should check that out. It's about a kid who accidentally gets transported to Fairyland and has been stuck there for 36 years, and she's never aged, and she hates it, and she's trying to get out, and she's become like this crazy murderer trying to get out.
All right.
I don't read as much as I used to. I used to buy like a lot, and my dad raised me on comic books. We until Sandy hit us here in New York, we had like over 100,000 comics to our name, and we had amazing. I own Amazing Fantasy 15, and my dad gave it to me.
Oh my God!
Yes,
wow.
Legit. So yeah, I mean, I don't read as much. I read the Star Wars comics because I want to understand that canon, just to keep it full circle. I like what they're doing a lot. But the comic that it's like if Supergirl and Flash and Arrow and Doctor Who are my appointment TV. My appointment comic is Astro City by Kurt Busiek. I've been collecting that since I was in high school, and that is one of the most beautiful superhero stories series I've ever read. It's just what he does in homaging and honoring the genre and deepening it. It has always been an inspiration to me as a writer, and just it's so unique to anything else out there. And I recommend everyone just go buy all the trades, all the single issues, and then write Kurt Busiek a thank you letter, and then be good.
Awesome.
Nice.
So the I'm sorry. Yes.
The only comic that I actually read is Buffy. I got into the Buffy. It was a gift that I received when I moved to Toronto from two of my closest friends. They're like, "Welcome to Toronto. Here's the continuation of Buffy." And so I hadn't really gotten into comics ever, but now that I've sort of continued on with, I always just get the big compilation one, just that way I just read all once. I'm starting to get more into comics. I'm starting to understand it a bit more, and enjoying it a lot more. So I'm actually, as Sarah, as you're suggesting ones, I'm like, the Fade Out?
The Fade Out. Oh, and I religiously read Fables when it was coming out. That was amazing. I loved that. Yeah, so good. I was so upset when the series was over. I was like, but I need more of this. So yeah.
Tweet Sarah if you want more. She's the woman to talk to, obviously.
Yeah, talk to me. I have all the comics. They're in my house.
I just remembered I gave you a Buffy comic once, Tanya. I just totally remembered that.
You did.
Oh, and my gosh, you guys, I'm such a girl from the 80s, but the new Gem reboot comic series is amazing.
I talk the movie, I'm like, what are you doing?
No, not the movie. Not the movie. The comic series is wonderful.
Oh, wow, cool.
So true to the spirit of the show from the 80s, but things actually happen in the comic series as opposed to the promise of what would happen in the cartoon. And all of the girls look different, which I think is really important. They use all of the different body types instead of just basically changing their hair color. So
nice.
I like that too.
I did actually read one comic series recently, which was the Princess Leia Star Wars comic. They did a 5-issue one. Okay, that was really good, really awesome. If you like Princess Leia, check that out. It's really well done.
Yeah, the Star Wars comics actually, the new Star Wars canon, just keeping because it's Star Wars Day. The new canon has been really good. I was such a fan of the expanded universe, and I have every single book. First printing unopened, sort of and I've cracked them, but I'd hold them special away so I wouldn't wrinkle it. And but I read every single book, not every single book, but the new stuff is just a new level. And also because they have the story group overseeing everything connects a lot better. And that's also evident in the comics where they start bringing in stuff from the prequels in a way that actually means something. They actually show how Vader discovers Luke is his son, and it's wow, that's actually a really cool moment I wish we had seen on screen. So yeah, the new Star Wars comics are really good, and the whole new Star Wars canon is actually, if this film is any indication, the earlier reviews, we're in for a treat.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Ward on Twitter says Lock and Key is awesome. Stephen King did the audio play with Kate Mulgrew and Tatiana Maslany,
which was produced by my friend Lance Roger Axe at Audio Comics, and I'm listening to it right now, and he's my buddy, so I'm gonna pitch him as much as possible because he's a good guy.
Yay!
Nice. Oh, Ryan Ward is also pimping a former guest on our show, Sean is Right, who does the graphic novel LARP or the comic LARP. Yeah. Pick that up. Awesome.
Speaking of Star Wars and technology, there was no segue there. I'm just trying to segue
it. They only set it up for me, not you, I guess.
I know, guys, come on. So I'm actually going to show the app. So Disney has the official Star Wars app. There's a lot of Star Wars apps out there, but I'm talking the official Disney one. So I'm going to bring it up. I don't know if you can see it or not. So it does this. I'm all confused with Spielberg and stuff now.
All right, here we go. I got you. Go ahead.
So when you do your app, I've already chosen the light side, but you can choose which side you want to be part of, and it customizes your app for you. what's really super cool is that it gives you GIFs and emojis that you can use in texting and stuff like that. I was sending Jeff and Nicole test Millennium Falcons just to be like, what does this look like?
Lightsaber.
Exactly. You can also do a selfie where you can take a photo of yourself as a character. I don't know if you can see this. You can see my messy table. So I'll do a quick photo. Okay. I don't know if it worked or not. It didn't work. Try it again.
Oh boy.
Okay.
The Jedi's got the show motion.
Go. So I don't know if you can see this. But yeah, so there I am as a Jedi.
I like the
Yoda over my
back.
shoulder.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the app is super cool. Aside from all the little cool things, like you can take a photo of yourself like this. It also contains all of the official Star Wars news from Disney. So anytime there is an update, anytime there's a whatever, an official video, it goes directly on here. There's also some cool games. I think you can even order tickets if you haven't done it yet before next week, people. You can do it through the app. This actually is one of the most well done, connected to an entertainment thing app I have ever seen. It's not just like directing you to the website that you can see. You can actually participate. There's a little game which I haven't had a chance to play yet because it took a long time to download. It counts down to Rogue One. It's really, really cool. So look at the app. It's fun. The GIFs and emojis are just awesome. Do it.
All right. Do it. He's commanded you.
Well, will it serve you drinks at the canteen? That's what I don't know.
There is a more button. What does the more button do?
It summons me.
Bring the canteen into your house.
It summons you?
It summons me.
Oh, look.
Beep.
It just gives you all of the games that you can get with the more button. Sorry. Anyway, the app's a lot of fun, so definitely check it out. I played with it a long time. I was actually doing it in the middle of the night and trying not to wake my husband up. I'm like, you shouldn't be making Star Wars noises at 3 in the morning.
You should always be making Star Wars noises.
Hey, he probably had some interesting dreams.
Probably. He did think I was an alien one night. Maybe that was.
He probably does. Yeah, that's his fantasy of.
It even has a countdown to episode 8.
Yeah, it's got everything on this thing. Like, it's the official Disney Star Wars app. There's a lot of Star Wars things, but it's the actual Star Wars app.
Do they already have the date set for episode 8? Is it like 2 years from?
It's like 500 days from now.
Year and a half.
So less than 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's coming out in May 2018.
It even tells you what it feels like. Like, so your current temperature in Toronto right now is 8 degrees, and it feels like Alderaan, is what it's telling me right now.
Right now? That seems bad.
Yeah, well, yes. But it even has stuff like today in Star Wars history. It tells you what happened in 2008 on this day. Like, it's a really cool thing. It's awesome.
It feels like dead. It feels like you're not even there, basically, is what it's telling you.
There's also the I haven't played it enough, but there's also the Star Wars Uprising game.
I just saw that.
Yeah, it takes place after Return of the Jedi. It's one of the first games to take place post Return of the Jedi, and it's a little more intense for me, but it's a little. Man, you get to run around and shoot people, and you get to see what's the canon, what happens after Return of the Jedi. There's a couple. Exactly.
I'm addicted to Star Wars Commander, which is basically Clash of the Clans, but Star Wars size, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right, so Tanya, I'm about to give you a great segue. So Maria Duran just tweeted in she's watching live now, and she also sent us a great picture of her as an X-Wing pilot. Maria, where did you get that done? Because I want to do that myself. I don't know if that's the app or something else.
It's on the app. I think you can do it as an app.
Oh, no, I can't do it because my phone doesn't work with the app. I'm really pissed off. All right, anyway. But it's all right. I'll survive. Anyway, Maria, it's a great time for watching because
Maria is one of our awesome Patreon supporters. If you guys didn't know, we have a Patreon campaign which we are using to raise money to upgrade our level of SGUs, so getting things like better webcams, hopefully getting a better broadcasting version thing that's not Google Hangouts that randomly decides is not going to work. So if you want to check us out on Patreon, it's patreon.com/supergeekedup. Thank you to everyone who's already donated and for sharing. All of that helps. We want to get the word out there that we're making our improvements. So let's do it. But as part of that, we have some great supporters, including Maria Duran, who has been one of our Patreon supporters from almost the beginning. She hosts a weekly chat on Twitter about branding, where you can learn all about all things branding in different segments of the world. So whether it's like us being very true to our geek brands, Maria found out this week about me that I'm also an office supply geek. So she and I bonded over planners and pens earlier this week. But every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, she facilitates this talk on Twitter about branding. So check it out every Wednesday, 12 hours before SGU, using the hashtag BrandChat, @BrandChat on Twitter. It's a great discussion. You'll learn a lot, I promise.
Yes, awesome. And by the way, folks, next week we're actually doing our Patreon episode where every couple months we invite some Patreon supporters who have pledged at a certain level to join us on the show, which is pretty much perfect because they all happen to be big Star Wars fans who are coming on, and so we're all going to talk about Force Awakens next week. So check that out.
A little
all right.
indie film.
Yeah. We got one last game we're going to do, Geeky Audition, Star Wars style. But first, we're going to take one last commercial break. If you're watching the recorded version, we'll see you back in a second.
Help me, Super Geeked Up. You're my only hope saving me from this commercial break.
Very good.
Did you like that one?
Well done.
Okay,
Yes.
I tried.
That's good.
I can improvise
right.
sometimes.
It's time for Geeky Audition.
So Geeky Audition has officially become sort of my game because I get to be a casting director and do all the horrible things that casting directors sometimes make you do in the audition room, like ridiculous redirects. Not that. Sarah.
Sarah, you don't have pants on, so you're already halfway there.
That's what I'm saying. Man.
Yeah, see, as I was telling you, I was needing more of the silly redirects they give you sometimes. Like, okay, no, dude, I wasn't talking about that.
The casting
Anyway.
is very much alive.
Tanya was like, I want Sarah to come on so I can get her on the casting call.
Damn it, you could have figured it out.
That would really boost our ratings up a lot.
It really would. This is what we need to do. Anyway, moving on. So, Geeky Audition. What we do is I give a couple of characters to a few of our guests, and they are auditioning for said characters to get a part in a movie. I give them a scenario, they improvise that scenario, and as they go along, I give them little redirects just to, improve the performance, make it a little more interesting, all that fun stuff. So obviously this week we're doing Star Wars because that's the show. So before we started, we actually assigned our roles to begin with, just so we had a death match over who wanted to play who, and the victor got to choose first. So the first one is with Han and Yoda. So Jonathan
Interesting.
is going to be, I know, right? Jonathan's going to be auditioning for Han Solo, and Adam's going to be auditioning for Yoda.
It's true.
Nice.
This is a true story.
It's a very true story. So, guys, what I would like you to do in the grand tradition of auditioning, I want you to come in, tell me your name and the role you're auditioning for. So do a little bit of a slate, and then I'm going to give you your scenario that you're going to act out. Okay?
Sure.
So whoever wants to go first, whenever you're ready.
Jonathan, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Adam.
Okay. Should I? Oh, okay. Hi, my name is Adam Garcia, and I'm reading for the role of Yoda.
Perfect. Okay. Jonathan, whenever you're ready.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Robbins. I'm reading for the role of Han Solo.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in today. I very much appreciate this. I realize these are kind of unknown roles. So you're really sort of creating these characters from scratch because we don't know much about them. So, basic sort of thing of this universe. These people are part of sort of a rebel force. They're fighting the Empire. and they're trying to defeat them. So I really just want you to start off discussing how you were going to defeat this much larger force with much more resources, like as you two, how your characters might want to help that cause and how you could work together on that. So we're going to start with that as your scenario.
Question.
Whenever you're ready.
Question. Is this Empire with Terrence Howard?
Not that Empire.
No, that's what I heard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
If
That's
you'd like
the
to
one.
sing, though, I think that would be okay.
You could
Fine.
sing.
No. They rap.
Oh, so you can rap too. Thank you for that segue. We're gonna rap next week, folks. We're doing Star Wars raps.
Oh God, are we?
Okay.
Shit.
Yes.
Oh, I can't be here.
Anyway, continuing. And so it's not the Terrence Howard Empire. It's like an evil empire. So think, think evil.
Yes.
Not,
I see. Okay.
not the music business.
Mm-hmm.
The evil empire. I have a question as well. The name Han Solo. I'm wondering if there's meant to be a D in there. Is it Han Solo? Was that a typo, or is it? It's not a. Is it a sexual thing?
Oh,
or
just do the scene.
Jonathan Robbins.
All right. I'll Jonathan, with your permission, I'll begin.
Join the Rebel Alliance, you will.
What is this Rebel Alliance you speak of? I haven't heard of them.
We meet on Thursdays. It is nice.
Well, it's
And once
Thursdays.
we have beer.
If you want me to join something on a Thursday, that's going to cost you extra, kid. I only do Wednesdays.
That is when I have my polo match.
I'll tell you what.
Laughing, we have polo. It is water polo. It is great on my abs.
For 10,000 credits, I will join your Rebel Alliance on Thursday, and I will play your polo game on Wednesday as well.
Money, I do not have that much.
Well, you gotta have the money if you want to get the hand, kid.
This went somewhere else.
My hand has 3 fingers. It is not useful for you.
You know, your abs may look nice, little green boy, but it's not going to get you very far in this universe unless you have the money to pay up. So either you pay, or I shoot.
Jordan made lots of bad choices in college. But that money is gone now.
Okay, that's really great, guys. I really like where we're going with this. I feel like you're starting to meet common ground, which is awesome.
Okay, yes.
So, but as you're sort of discovering these things and you're trying to negotiate who's doing what with their hands, I want you to start realizing how much you both really love hot dogs and mac and cheese.
Tell me, Solohan, have you ever had mac and cheese with with hot dogs?
Kraft mac and cheese? I have it all the time. That's
Me
what I
too.
smuggle. I have a crate full of it, and Chewy and I will eat it at night. You heat it up in the microwave. It's fantastic. I know.
It's tasty.
I know.
Yes. Once when I was in college, that's all I ate was hot dogs. And that's not a euphemism.
You may be cheesy, but you know your meals.
I've been known to swallow many a meal.
I think she's trying to cut so she can do that.
I did not expect hot dogs and mac and cheese to go there.
You should always expect it to go there.
That's what she said.
She did say that.
Han, would you like to Netflix and chill?
Every show. Oh, that was great.
Nice job, guys.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
Well done.
It's true. All of it.
Yes.
I only have 3 fingers. It's not useful to you. Okay, so our next...
So before we get to that, on Twitter, Kate at Trek1000 says, "Oh my God, Adam does the best Yoda ever." And Marina Duran says, "Agreed, he's really good."
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'll have to do a Picard Yoda crossover.
Yes.
Not now. Now I built
Right
it
now.
too much. I've built a. Oh God.
Oh, that was good.
Now I have to find a voice. Go.
Oh, and Kate
Move on.
says on Twitter, "I just woke my sister up. I am laughing so hard." Hashtag Yoda and Hans. Hashtag hot dogs and mac and cheese.
I'm so glad that I inspired a hashtag.
Don't forget Little Green Boy.
Little green boy.
Green boy.
That was the name of my movie.
That was his bad choice in college.
That he spent 10,000 credits on.
Yeah, it was it's,
It was a
self-produced.
movie. Piece about my
To launch his
childhood.
career.
It's a whole new meaning to the term Han shot first.
Oh.
Unprovoked, even. Shot just.
Wait.
Don't worry, Han. Size matters not.
Oh, this is great. So second pairing.
Oh, wait, to follow that.
Yeah,
you can
great.
follow
Yeah,
that.
follow that.
Sorry.
Okay.
This is why you always volunteer to go first. I've learned. So the next one is Darth Vader, which will be Dipu will be auditioning for Darth Vader, and C-3PO, which Sarah will be auditioning for. So if you guys can do the same thing, can you just like say your name and the character you're auditioning for, and then I will give you your scenario.
Well, thank you for seeing me today. My name is Dipu Bhattacharya. I'm auditioning for Darth Vader.
And I'm Sarah Moore, and I'm auditioning for C-3PO.
Perfect. Okay. So these two characters are kind of on opposing forces. So if you don't know the story, they are not. They don't work together. They're definitely on opposing sides. So Darth Vader is the big baddie. C-3PO. I mean, I think he kind of mostly is on the good side if he needs to, but I'm sure he's also, if he needed to take advantage of the dark side, he would if he needed to. But what we're going to start with this is these two just unexpectedly meet in the hallway of the first Death Star just before the first attack that takes it down. So yeah.
All right. Great.
Okay.
And the Death Star is what again?
Oh, it's a big sort of planet-sized warship that can take out planets. It's bad. And you're kind of in charge of the whole shindig.
Did you ever breathing
I'm in
problem?
charge?
No, Darth Vader's in charge.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Right. Oh, do you want accents or anything? Is there an accent that you hear C-3PO in?
Maybe some sort of British.
British?
Yeah, maybe high class British. Yeah.
Very high class. So not like Cockney. High class.
Yeah, that one. And Darth has a breathing apparatus, so he has to through it.
Okay. All right. Like that? No.
A bit more.
Is he high?
Like sleep. Like sleep apnea,
Kind of. Yeah.
Sleep apnea math.
All right.
Whenever you're ready.
You there. You golden one.
Is that me? Are you talking to me?
Yes.
No?
Who are you? You look familiar.
Well, I'm a droid. There are quite a lot of us about.
But there's something familiar.
Yes, I'm the protocol droid. There's 4,000 of us on the space right now.
You have a mark by your neck. I seem to recall making one like that once.
Mark. Oh, yes, this. Yeah, it's fine. You must have started a trend.
Oh. Good to know. I'm often very insecure in my position.
Are you? You have asthma? Is that a... Can I fiddle
Well,
with your suit a bit, sort of help you out?
Well, I'm actually missing most of my legs and my arms, so
I'm so
that's
sorry to
why
hear
it's
that.
hard to breathe. I think.
Yeah. Humans, they breathe with their arms.
Some do, yes.
Interesting.
But it's more difficult. I must power my machinery with my lungs.
So this is a great opportunity to jump with my redirect. So as you're continuing this conversation, suddenly all the tech that sort of controls your respirator and your arms and your legs, like in your suit, starts being interfered with the tech that is C-3PO. So C-3PO's tech is interfering with your tech, and making for some interesting things to happen. If that makes sense. Almost like a Bluetooth wireless signal getting confused.
Oh, yes. So you breathe with your arms, yes? You breathe with your arms? Is that what's...
That's how my master explained it to me, yes.
It's never happened to me before. It's quite embarrassing.
What's going on?
Not quite sure.
The odds of this happening are like 3,564,000 to 1.
Feel the strong urge to choke someone.
Oh, you know how to choke someone, don't you? Wait, where's my accent?
Damn Bluetooth, changing everything. Perhaps if we like run into each other very hard, maybe it'll put us back right.
Or perhaps have we tried urinating into a fountain at the same time?
I don't think we should cross the stream.
We should not, no.
Ray said that was bad.
That's great, guys.
We can add another IP to the list tonight, man.
Yeah. Nice job.
IP freely tonight.
So, did we get the gig?
You know what? I will call you.
That's terrible. That's
That
not
was
good.
mean.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Right, can do it again. Hold on. This time with a Minnesotan accent. Maybe.
Can I start again from the top?
I was thinking applying him as Australian.
It's good. It's good.
Yoda.
Hey, well, that's good, because last week we did geeky, 2 weeks ago we did geeky accents, but you can go watch that. You guys are doing it right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only accent I can do.
Well, you're great at character voices.
Yeah, I did thank you.
So,
That's the only thing I'm good at.
Kate at Trekkie 1000 wants to know if I and Adam are related. We're not, but I wish we were. Maybe you could teach me how to do those voices. That'd be great.
You just gotta know how to do it. It's just, it's simple knowing where your throat works, and then you get all these accents. And you can talk to yourself all day. You can sit around and say, "Hey, how you doing?" "I'm doing fine. Is this having a good day?"
But I'm trying to get the master that Sylvester Stallone from Creed is like, so I'm not there yet. But
you probably need to get punched a few times before you can.
Put more stuff in your mouth when
Yeah,
you're trying to talk.
yeah.
Just like we're trying to relax one side a little bit.
It's all the So it also makes having conversations with your cat a lot easier, because my cat can come in. I'm like, "How you doing, Puck?" And he says like, "I'm okay today. How are you?" And I'm like, "I'm great." And he's like, "I just want to go outside and have an adventure." And I'm like, "No, you don't. That's a terrible idea. You did that once, and you were really terrified, and your dad was very upset with you." So yeah.
And then you look down and you realize you walked away 5 minutes ago.
Oh, the best part is like now my girlfriend and I, we just talk to the cat and we just look at the cat and it's the other person talking. We know that the other person's talking, but we're just looking at the cat. So that's what's happened. So it's called shared insanity.
Kate on Twitter also says she loves how Sarah keeps going in and out of her British accent. It's okay. I think it was very, very consistent. Yeah.
It happens.
It's when Wi-Fi happens and there's you just
And when you know 6 million languages.
There are so many languages to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. All right, so I guess that's about going to do us for tonight on Super Geeked Up. Before we go, let's give some links once again. So, Sarah, where can people check out your stuff?
On Facebook, actor Sarah Moore, or romeosfoe.net. Is that our website? Yeah, that's our website. romeosfoe.net, or Gamer Chick Show anywhere.
Awesome. Jonathan?
I just got to say, Adam, when you started doing your cat voice, Vincent jumped up. So I'm going to say good cat voice as well.
Oh, Vincent.
Please check out my stuff and subscribe at youtube.com/vengeancecinema. And you can follow me at Twitter and Instagram at @thejrobbins.
Dipu?
Yeah, please follow us on YouTube, The Pantsless Detective, and we're on Facebook as well, at Pantsless Det for the show, at The Dipu for me. And we're like 80% through post-production of our 3rd season, so that should be coming soon.
Nice. That's awesome. Adam?
Basically, Google anything Adam Lance Garcia, and I'm 98% sure that's going to be me. And Facebook, Twitter, everything like that. And look up how to introduce your significant other to Star Wars. It's going to be on Funny or Die. It's going to be on YouTube. That's the video that we were talking about earlier. We've already got 5,000 people watching it, so we want to get it up there. So how to introduce your significant other to Star Wars. Directed by Shane Tilson.
Yes, Shane, who's been on our show for the Other Kennedys before.
Yes.
And starring Marshall Stratton from the Other Kennedys as well.
They are very sexy, talented people who know their stuff.
They are. All right, please, of course, subscribe to us on YouTube if you haven't. It's youtube.com/supergeekedup, and we're at Super Geeked Up on Twitter, Super Geeked Up Live on Facebook. Also, we're on the League of Geeks Network on Blog Talk Radio. If you listen to us on the podcast version, we're there with 2 other shows, SFP Now, that's Sci-Fi Pulse Now, and Genretainment. Go to blogtalkradio.com/League of Geeks. In fact, I actually just joined those guys to do a Christmas special, so that's going to be up there soon. We talked all like our favorite geeky Christmas themed TV shows and movies. And this weekend, I'm going to be recording with them a year in review show, basically. We're going to choose our best and worst movies and TV shows of 2015. So you can get all that at blogtalkradio.com/League of Geeks. All right, cool. So thank you so much for joining us for our Star Wars episode, everyone. I hope you all enjoy The Force Awakens. Hope everyone gets to see it in the next couple days, or in the next week at least. That's where we're going. And next Wednesday, of course, we're going to do then we're going to discuss it, what we thought about it, break it down, all that good stuff. So that'll be our Patreon show as well. So we have some awesome supporters who love Star Wars to do that with us. So that'll be next Wednesday, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming on. Adam, Dipu, Jonathan, Sarah, you guys rock. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Thank you, everyone watching live.
With you always.
Nice.
Ooh, I have that on. Just a second. Wait.
What are
keep
you
talking.
doing?
Keep talking.
Okay.
Just keep talking.
Thank you if you're watching live, or if you're listening to podcasts or watching in post. We really appreciate it. You guys rock. And am I still talking? What are we doing? Are you ready?
I'm ready. I think I'm ready.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week. Stay geeky, everybody.
May the Force be with you.
All right. Bye.